you belong.
This is the GBN television news for today, Thursday, March 18th, 2021. I am Beverly Telesford. In the headlines, Center for Disease Control issues Level 1 Travel Health Advisory for Grenada. Our guest tonight is Tourism Minister Dr. Clarice Modeste-Kerwin. Health officials report decrease in dengue cases. Grenadian PhD candidate Kellon Bob named as a 2021 Edward Boucher Scholar. And Arise Credit Union embarks on security upgrade to protect members against cyber crimes. And around the globe, Indonesian government banned public schools from forcing religious dress codes on students. And the European Union proposes COVID-19 green certificates to allow travel across the bloc. Coming up in sports, Spice Boys beginning a new journey to find an identity and toward development. And West Indies President's 11 dominate practice match against Sri Lanka. Details right after this message.
This is GBN, the nation's news leader. This segment is brought to you by Courts Grenada Limited.
We are all essential in the fight against COVID-19.
At Courts, we're doing our part and we encourage you to stay at home, stay safe and shop online at www.shopcourts.com.
For added convenience, our Courts online customers will receive free delivery and get up to 20% off televisions, appliances and homewares. Plus, if you shop with Ready Finance, you will pay nothing down for 60 days. Now, you can stay home, shop online, and save.
Remember, do the essential. Wear a mask, wash your hands, practice social distancing, stop the spread.
Good evening to our viewers and listeners on K105. This is GBN News at 7. Grenada was the last of 3 countries in the Caribbean without a confirmed case of COVID-19 until Sunday, March 22, 2020, when health officials confirmed the first COVID-19 case. As the pandemic continues across the world, leaving millions dead and many more infected, the medical doctor who made the first announcement in Grenada believes while there is still a long way to go, Grenada has made positive strides.
Next week, Monday, marks a significant milestone for Grenada as the date when the country's first COVID-19 case was publicly confirmed. The country's first case, patient 0, was announced as a 50-year-old female who returned from the United Kingdom on March 16th and subsequently became sick on March 17th and was officially diagnosed on March 21st.
We were in our importation and isolation and community transmission phase for quite a while. We have now gotten our official imported case, and as such, we are in full gear for community transmission, or in other words, to avoid community transmission.
During the past year, since the pandemic reached Grenada, the country has recorded 154 positive cases, of which 76 were imported. 151 recovered, with 2 active cases. The country recorded 1 COVID-related death, that of a male individual. Now that we enter into 1 year since the pandemic reached Grenada, the question is asked, is Grenada in a better position coping with COVID-19? Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Francis Martin, says one thing is certain, Grenada is in a better position information-wise.
As the year has passed, I feel more confident now as we view the future. We don't know the future, but we do know that the amount of information that we have thus far is sufficient enough to keep us safe. Later now, we see the introduction of the vaccine, which is a ray of hope. We're beginning to see a light at the end of the tunnel, and I really do hope that the light will continue to shine and improve as we go forward.
Dr. Martin admits that when the WHO's announcement came about the pandemic, it was a scary period for everyone, including himself. It was a time when health officials had to learn as they go, trying to make the necessary adjustments.
From my own personal standpoint, when the World Health Organization indicated that the COVID is now a fake or a public health emergency of international significance. Where I sat at that time was a very, very painful, stressful period because there was so much we did not know about the COVID, and we had to learn on the job as we speak. And I think that level of fear of the unknown, drove fear through everybody's mind and hearts. And so
1 year later, vaccines have been developed to guard against the virus. Grenada received its first batch of 6,000 AstraZeneca vaccines and began its vaccination rollout in February. The second batch of 17,000 arrived on island 2 weeks ago, while the process continues. Health officials say the turnout has been positive. However, some remain skeptical. The most recent positive cases were recorded last weekend. 2 people remain in self-isolation, with another 204 people in quarantine facilities. Christelina John, GBN News.
Grenada has been issued the lowest travel health advisory by the Center for Disease Control. This comes as the center also issued the highest travel warning for 21 other Caribbean islands and territories. Trelana Charles has the details.
The Center for Disease Control is one of the major operating components of the American Department of Health and Human Services and is recognized as the lead federal agency for protecting the health and safety of people, both at home and abroad. Grenada is now one in 7 countries in the world to achieve the lowest COVID-19 advisory, Level 1. After the CDC lifted a worldwide Level 4 travel advisory, which took effect on March 19th, 2020, Grenada was ranked Level 3, high level of COVID-19, in August of 2020, which indicated that travelers should avoid all non-essential travel to the island. The rank was moved to Level 2, moderate level of COVID-19, earlier this year. The rank is now at Level 1, low level of COVID-19, while 21 other Caribbean countries and territories, including the neighboring islands of St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, are ranked Level 4, the highest risk group by the CDC, which continues to advise against all non-essential travel to more than 200 other locations around the globe. Besides Grenada, the other 6 Caribbean countries and territories at Level 1, lowest risk, are Anguilla, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Saba, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Eustatius. The lowest Level 1 indicates that all travelers should wear a mask, avoid crowds, stay at least 6 feet from people who are not traveling with you, wash your hands often or use hand sanitizer, and watch your health for signs of illness. There are currently 2 active cases on island, both imported and in quarantine. Trelana Charles, GBN News.
A year of unexpected developments that severely impacted lives and livelihoods. Many citizens stranded in countries not called their homes, thousands of jobs lost, and a reliant tourism industry badly broken, and no answers to the question, how much longer will this pandemic reign? Welcome and thank you to our guest tonight, Dr. Clarice Modest-Kerwin, Minister for Tourism.
Thank you very much. It is my pleasure to be here with you and with your medium and also the public of Grenada, Carriacou, and Martinique.
It's a pleasure to have you. Madam Minister, how much does the CDC Level 1 rating that we currently have now help Grenada and in particular the tourism industry to move forward?
When I learned about the CDC rating, it's a rating of Level 1, I immediately felt very excited. And the very question you asked me, it raised hopes in my mind that this is the kind of positivity and the positive messages that we would like to hear going out about Grenada, because we do know that people want to travel, but they also want to travel with some reassurance that the destination they're going to is a safe destination. And I believe that a recognized entity, a recognized body as the CDC, would be well listened to. Grenada was rated among 7 other Caribbean islands as number 1. However, I still note that the CDC's warning said that you still have to comply with the certain protocols that have been internationally established. For example, wearing a face mask when you're in crowd, avoiding crowds as far as possible, social distancing, hand washing, etc. So it is not a signal that everyone could do as they please, but it is a signal for Grenada that what we have done as a government and the team of the Ministry of Health and other personnel who have worked in the fight of COVID, I believe that it justifies the measures we would have taken. We know that persons were not always happy with it, but I think now they're seeing the results when we look at all of the levels outlined, the countries outlined by the CDC, and the advisory that is being given for travelers. I think it, to some extent, vindicates us. As you may know, and Grenadians may know, we haven't been having many flights in Grenada. As a matter of fact, a comparison between 2019 and 2020 showed a drop of over 50% of our flights, while in 2019 we were over 12,000. In 2020, we just barely 6,000 plus. And therefore, we need an injection. Our number of visitors to our shores dropped dramatically, over 72%. And that does not augur well for the industry, neither for the revenues of the Grenada Maurice Bishop International Airport, nor for all of the accommodations and the other sectors that would normally have benefited, like the tour operators, the vendors, farmers, fishermen, etc. So we need that injection, and every assessment that projects us favorably does help us.
And I quite agree. Now, with international countries considering a COVID-19 vaccine travel passport, is this a possibility for Grenada?
Certainly, this is a possibility for Grenada. I am well aware that that is being given serious consideration. But of course, as I mentioned before, some of what I said would segue quite nicely into this, the response to this question that you have asked. There would have to be, of course, certain guidelines for our visitors, not just once you're vaccinated and you've had the 2 vaccines and it's past a certain period, you can walk in. There would be other protocols that we have to observe, having observed what CDC has said, and also the fact that there are other issues with the virus, like variants and so, and the uncertainty as to whether these present vaccines cover the variants that is being seen in other countries. So while it would not be a straightforward pathway to recovery, but yes, it is a definite positive move in the right direction as we vaccinate more of our Grenadians, as we move towards the 80, 85%, 100%. It gives us more of a security.
Well, thank you so much for that response. It's always a pleasure to speak with you, Dr. Clarice Kerwin, Minister for Tourism. Thank you.
The pleasure is mine as well. Thank you.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Whatever happened to the common cold as we know it? Are people afraid to sneeze, cough, or blow their noses in public out of fear of being judged for having COVID-19? With the presence of the COVID-19 pandemic, this strain of the virus appears to have gone into isolation. Earlier, today's GBN's Christina John sought some answers. GBN Health comes to you compliments Gittins Healthcare.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grand Anse, Victoria Street, Brentwood, and Central Deputy Street, Wall. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Happened since the onset of COVID-19 pandemic as it relates to the common cold? Did you notice? Random Grenadians were asked, what is the last time you remember having the flu? Here are some feedbacks from the public.
Yeah, let me say about 6 months ago. Yeah, that was the last time I had the cold. Whenever you have large gathering like Carnival or Christmas, they used to have this cold going around, and a lot of people catch that cold, including me. But since after the COVID coming, the cold kind of gets scarce because we don't have so much a large gathering as before.
Yeah, a couple of months now I have the cold. It's used a little vitamin C and I suck a lot of orange juice. And well, I am a fisherman, so I in the sea regular, so all of that part of it.
School is one place where transmission of contagious viruses and diseases are prevalent. The common cold is one such virus that passes from one child to another through interactions. However, teacher at the Grand Mall Preschool, Miss Alexander, says she too has noticed that the students have not been down with the cold in a long time.
Funny, it's amazing that, since COVID, you don't see them come in with the cold or have any runny nose or so. So I don't know, I'm surprised. It's a good feeling because when they have the cold, they have to stay at home. But now that they don't have the cold, they come to school when they're supposed to.
Speaking to Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Francis Martin, he said that the mode of transmission for influenza or flu is similar to that of COVID-19. They have seen a drastic reduction.
From our epidemiological surveillance for the last few months, during the typical cold season or the virus season, we saw a significant drop in the diagnosis of upper respiratory tract infection, fevers of unknown origin, even to a certain extent gastroenteritis.
One may consider it a positive side to COVID-19. Here's how Dr. Martin rationalizes his findings.
And I think the reason for that is because the wearing of masks is quite significant. It prevents droplets from getting aerosolized and getting droplets to infect other people. The washing of hands decreases the transmission rate from bacteria and viruses. And also the kind of limited movements, limited or physical distances, as we said. Even before COVID, we were saying to people, if you have a flu or a cold, stay at home, don't go anywhere. But COVID has actually forced us to do it. And I think that is the benefit and the knock-on effect that we have seen as a result of COVID.
He thanked the populace for entrusting them with their efforts in keeping the country safe. Chrislina John, GBN News.
This is news at 7 coming up. Grenada moves towards becoming the first climate-smart city in the region. Stay with us.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you. Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
Man, a real madman. Sunday, March 28th from 6 p.m. We're kicking off another massive Waggity virtual bingo as the March Madness deals continue. And this time you can win $10,000 US. What? Yes, $10,000 US. And tickets are only $8 US. Hold up, $8 US? I tell all your waggy gone mad. In Grenada, tickets are available at gotofed.com or from numerous box offices island-wide and our main office on Bruce Street Mall. If you're overseas, tickets are only available at gotofed.com. Sunday, March 28th, join the madness and enjoy all the fun and excitement online. Play Waggity Virtual Bingo, the new way to play bingo.
I'm Benjamin Etienne. My name is Trishan Thomas.
My name is Christian James.
My position is centre forward, play central midfield, and I play right back for the Grenada men's senior team. I would like to urge every Grenadian to support the Grenada national team on 30th of March
in our first home game against USVI in the World Cup qualifiers.
They are not able to join us at the Grenada National Stadium, but you can watch our live match on Pro Pay-Per-View, channels 1000, 1001. Support Team Grenada.
Support Team Grenada.
473.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'll be there. Something in these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your smiles and the way you tell me it's okay to try. Now I'm invincible. I can pack my sack. I can take the long road. 'Cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Arise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Arise, with no wings, fly. Arise, and we're so high, enjoy the view.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. Grenada is moving towards having the first climate-smart city in the region. However, that has been hindered by the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite the impediment to such a goal, climate change has gone ahead and is wreaking havoc on the polar ice caps due to rising temperatures. Some startling statistics are now displaying the reality of climate change. Jared Joseph has that story.
Building climate resilience has been preached and promoted vehemently, more so over the last decade. Grenada is a signatory to the Paris Accord, which came into being in 2015, but questions and concerns are still being raised as to what countries have actually done in that regard. One of the pioneers of the Paris Agreement, Dr. James Fletcher, recently shared some alarming news that will have dire consequences for small island states such as Grenada. He says the polar ice caps are melting faster than ever before.
The temperature increases we're seeing in the North Pole, the Arctic Circle, are actually higher than what we're seeing globally. So last year, for example, I'm sure that this is a joke that you get universally, that when you say that you're banishing someone, you say that you send them to Siberia, because Siberia is known to have the harshest, coldest conditions on the planet. In June last year, Siberia, a town in Siberia, recorded a temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, let that sink in. We have never, at least not in my living history, have we seen 100 degrees Fahrenheit in any one of our Caribbean islands.
The consultant says in the Antarctic in 2020, record temperatures were witnessed.
Those are places where you should not be able to venture, even with full clothing and everything else. So the temperature at our poles is warming alarmingly. And as a result, we have now sea level rise taking place at a level that's even greater than we thought. In 2019, the data showed that the ice melting in Greenland was what we thought would be a worst-case scenario by the year 2070. So it means we're 50 years ahead of schedule for what the models had predicted would be sea level rise and ice warming.
Dr. Fletcher says low-lying, climate-vulnerable countries will see severe consequences.
Our economic and social juggler is near the coast. All of our economic infrastructure is near the coast. Our power plants, our roads, our schools, our hospitals, everything that is of economic significance to us is located near the coast in the Caribbean. So consider what impact a 1 meter sea level rise, which is the best case scenario that we're looking at, what that will mean for St. Kitts, for St. Lucia, for Anguilla, for Antigua and Barbados, which are very low-lying.
He says disruptions to the water cycle are being experienced, stronger hurricanes and more acidic oceans, which are a threat to the seafood industry. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
The Ministry of Health is breathing a sigh of relief as the number of dengue cases on the island begins to drop. This, according to health officials, is a positive sign, which indicates that people are doing what is necessary to eradicate the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is the vector. During the first 2 months of 2021, health officials became alarmed as a spike in cases was recorded. For January alone, the country recorded 16 cases, spiking even higher in February. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Francis Martin, says 2020, however, has recorded much more cases.
Apart from the decrease in upper respiratory tract infections and fevers of unknown origin, we also start noticing a decrease in dengue cases. I'm quite happy to learn from our last surveillance report that we're beginning to see a decrease in that aspect. And I think, again, not just that we have the weather pattern to help us with that, but I think people took action. People, followed what we asked them to do, keep their surroundings clean, keep the breathing sites as low as possible.
Now, as the month of April approaches, which is often quite a windy period, the PS warns people to take precautions.
My recommendation and my advice to people as we go into the Easter season, we expect lots of wind. And with those wind, we expect dust to be coming across the Atlantic Ocean. We expect lots of stimulants in the air. We encourage persons who are asthmatic and those who have high allergy symptoms to be careful around that season of high wind. I know it's just time when kids get out there, be careful as well in terms of flying with the kites and that kind of things.
In other news, charges against 2 men accused of the death of Francis Williams of Beaton St. David in 2018 have been reduced from murder to manslaughter. Charged are Davis Gulston, 37 years, an auto body repairman, and Johnny Perriman, 25 years, a construction worker, both of Beaton St. David. They appeared at the St. George's Magistrate Court on Wednesday, March 28, 2018, where the charge of non-capital murder was read to them. The two men have been remanded to Her Majesty's prisons. Attorney at law Anselm Clouden, who represents David Galston, told the media about the lesser charge for his client.
There is a case from Beaton, as you all, in 2018, the 24th of March 2018, one David Galston and Johnny Perryman were both charged with the murder of Francis Williams. After 3.5 weeks of trial, I represented David Galston. The jury returned a verdict yesterday. My learned friend, Mrs. Grinish, represented the Crown. The jury returned a verdict yesterday, not guilty of murder, but guilty of manslaughter. His sentencing is to take place on the 22nd of June, 2021.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trelana Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. During yesterday's post-cabinet briefing, Minister for Health, Nicholas Steele, when asked about the possibility of the COVID-19 vaccine becoming mandatory in Grenada, said this.
And the same discussion can push forward with respect to supermarkets, banks, and as St. Vincent is saying as well, buses. We're all saying the same thing. Those of us who are involved in frontline work, which is medical or hospitality, should be vaccinated. Otherwise, we are putting ourselves and the nation at an unreasonable risk.
Tonight, we listen to the opinions of our online and listening audience as they discuss the minister's statement.
Grenadians need to stop it. They want carnival, they don't want to wear masks, they want things back to the way it was, and they are not prepared to do what is needed. I think it should be mandatory for those serving the public. If you don't want to take the vaccine, find another job. When they're ready to travel and have to pay for it, they will also be complaining too.
It's not that he is promulgating compulsory or mandatory taking of the vaccine, but he's just in his own way trying to tell you, you have to arm yourself.
The Ministry of Health needs to be more informing and encouraging, have meetings with these various workers and give accurate information and encouragement. The arrogance won't work. Some of the ministers need to talk to the people with more love. They also have to ensure that they have the appropriate laws in place with the Constitution before making it mandatory.
If you're doing your own private work at your home and you are not mixing with the public, then it shouldn't be mandatory to you because you are doing your part. But if you are selling bread, cake, juice, and all them things on the side of the road, you must take it. I would make it mandatory to those type of people.
Wondering the amount of Chinese they bring here if they vaccinate them already. Let him take all for himself.
So nobody could force nobody to take this virus injection. No law must be made above the country. Look at it, fundamental right and freedom.
No one should be forced to take any vaccine. The Minister of Health and the government should keep all for themselves. As for me, I will not be taking it, mandatory or not. It's my decision.
Why Dr. Mitchell and Mr. Steele say to every house must have a Bible, or to every house must go to church, or to every bus driver must have a New Testament sitting in front of the bus? No.
That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN ISA lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN ISA is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
tonight's eyesore a vegetable or a person? What do you think? Our eyesore reporter submitted this photograph of a cassava root which bears the shape of a human being. Notice anything out of the ordinary? Snap a photo or video and send it to us via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
We take a break, but still ahead, Grenadian PhD candidate Kellon Bob named as a 2021 Edward Boucher Scholar. Stay with us.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
It takes a village
to raise our children
into productive citizens
and progressive communities.
It takes a village
to provide support to our young people
who are going down the wrong path
and need family and community support.
It takes a village
to help our children who have made a mistake,
to take responsibility
and learn from their mistakes.
It takes a village
to actively help in the rehabilitation of our youth,
to assist them in being productive,
to reintegrate back into our communities.
It takes a village
to care about each other,
to lift up our children
and make them into better adults.
It takes a village
to give our youths
a chance for change.
Join the movement
and give our children a chance for change.
This message is brought to you by the USAID OECS Juvenile Justice Reform Project 2, funded by the United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to oecs.org/JJRP.
What are you looking for? Top quality copy paper, linen paper, bond paper maybe, or lunch bags, maybe a gift set, or maybe you're just not sure? Then visit us today. K&R Bookstore. We are so much more than your regular bookstore. Visit us at the corner of Scotch and Young Street, or give us a call 420-5307 or 321-3500. K&R Bookstore. Convenience, quality, excellent prices.
Sissons truly cares about your paint job. We give you the results you wish for. Sissons understands your needs and responds to it.
Get the finish you want with quality that is unmatched. Nothing compares to Sissons paint.
No matter your need, at home or on that industrial project,
Sissons has the perfect color solution for you.
Sissons paints for good looks that last. Available at all major hardware retailers island-wide.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Welcome back to News at 7. In a world already leaning on the side of technology, the COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the transition into the digital world with the elimination of some in-person services. This comes with security concerns created by an increase in cyber crimes. Ariza Credit Union is looking to boost its security for members by upgrading its electronic cards.
Since the start of the pandemic over a year ago, personal interactions have been limited across the board in almost all sectors. The introduction of social distancing has made it difficult to successfully complete in-person transactions, resulting in most encounters being rerouted to online. Lucia Livingston-Andel, Chief Executive Officer at the Ariza Credit Union, said that as time progresses and with the direction the world is headed, she foresees the demand for digital services will increase.
It's going, and we have seen very clearly from the COVID experience the need to have access at a touch of a button, access without physical presence, but to be able to have access. And I think my own view is that we are not going to go back to the way we were pre-COVID in terms of some of the services, some of the contact services over the counter, physical contact, but there'll be more and more demand for electronic and digital services.
Livingston-Andel said in response to the demand for digital services and the generated increase in cyber criminal activity, the credit union has decided to introduce added security features to its customers' electronic cards to help combat the issue.
We upgraded the card to a new EMV chip card, which means there are added security features in the card. These features allow you to require you to put in a security pin whenever you're transacting, and also it encourages you not just when you're physically transacting with a card present transaction, but also when you are doing an online distant transaction that doesn't need you to have a card physically present, but it requires you to also input a pin. So we are rolling out that pilot right now. Well, we have completed the pilot and we are converting our cards. So we're changing all of the cards in a very ordered, scheduled manner.
The CEO says the credit union is going even further in the name of card security by providing an additional accessory to accompany the upgraded cards.
Now we have, in that new card, we're going to be asking you to put it into a pouch. Now that pouch allows you, it is what is called a radio frequency identification device pouch that prevents contact from another device that might be close by and that might be able to pick up any of the information on your card. So when when you have your card, please ensure that it's always kept within the pouch.
PhD candidate Kellam Bob has been named as a 2021 Edward Boucher Scholar. He will be inducted into the Boucher Honor Society during the annual Edward Boucher National Diversity Conference, which takes place at Yale University on April 8th and 9th, 2021. Bob is included in the roster of 71 other minority and immigrant PhD candidates from the United States who were awarded. Bob, a long-standing journalist, is currently on course to complete a PhD in Health and Development Communication at Howard University this year. His research centers on studying the health impacts of climate change in climate justice communities and communication for development in the Global South. The Edward Boucher Honor Society recognizes outstanding scholarly achievements and promotes excellence and diversity in doctoral education and the professorate. Stay with us. The weather and sports are up next.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
We understand it can be hard getting from the bus terminal to the Kirani James Athletic Stadium just to get your fresh fruits and veggies. But guess what? Your troubles are over. Enjoy a free bus shuttle from the bus terminal to the temporary market at the Kirani James Stadium
every Friday and Saturday until the end of March.
Let us buy local, eat local, and support our local market vendors.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Keeping an eye on the weather, this is GBN. We've got you covered.
Weather for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique valid for tonight and the following 3 days. Weather tonight generally fair, becoming partly cloudy just after midnight with brief light to moderate showers. Tonight's minimum temperature 23.5 degrees Celsius. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 5 to 15 miles per hour, becoming variable to calm overnight. Seas moderate to rough with waves up to 9 feet in northerly swells. A marine advisory remains in effect. Tides would be high at 1 a.m. Weather for Friday, March 19th, partly cloudy at first, becoming fair by mid-morning with possible isolated afternoon showers. Weather for Saturday, March 20th, generally fair, becoming partly cloudy during the early afternoon with light isolated showers. And weather for Sunday, March 21st, partly cloudy at first with light showers, becoming fair by mid-morning. Good evening, sporting fans. The Spice Boys begun a new journey under the leadership of head coach Michael Finley, and they will first be tested when they face 6th CONCACAF team El Salvador on March 25th. The former assistant coach for the Canada senior men's team says they have begun a process of establishing an identity in the game model.
And I think one of the basis of that is making sure that we bring strong organization to the group, both when we have the ball and when we don't have the ball. And that's what we're working on. And this is the first opportunity for us to test the waters. And, we're going to be realistic and we've got to be honest with ourselves that this is the first step in a longer journey.
Coach Finlay says their World Cup qualifying campaign will determine how they address future tournaments and match play, especially in terms of the Gold Cup campaign in July.
But in terms of the level of confidence, in terms of our grouping, as I say, the realistic state of mind has to be our first game is our most important game, and that game is being played in a hostile environment, even with COVID. It's in a long established culture of football in El Salvador. They're ranked number 6 in CONCACAF, and we have to be keenly aware of that. And we have to be organized, and we have to understand that this is a really, really strong challenge for us, given where we are in this process.
He says they will be taking the other matches against USVI, Antigua and Barbuda, and Montserrat step by step, while bringing their A game for each match. Shea Hope hit a brilliant unbeaten half-century to follow up Roston Chase's 4-wicket haul as Cricket West Indies President's 11 dominated Sri Lanka on Wednesday's first day of a 2-day tour match. After bowling out the visitors for just 172 just after tea, the President's 11 reached the close on 103 for 1, with Hope unbeaten on a stroke-filled 60 off just 72 balls. Left-hander Darren Bravo ended the day on a solid 30 not out of 69 balls and has so far put on 94 for the second wicket with hope. Chase had earlier picked up 4 for 12 as Sri Lanka collapsed from 137 to 5 to lose their last 5 wickets for 35 runs in quick time. From the outset, Sri Lanka were never allowed to settle as fast bowler Anderson Phillips snatched 3 for 47 and Seema Kemaroj 2 for 41 to cause problems early in the innings. Roach removed both openers in successive overs. On day 2, President's 11 were on 275 for 8 by team. Still with cricket, Darren Bravo says he's looking forward to the Test series versus Sri Lanka. He also addressed the criticism he has received in his previous matches.
Obviously, it's always good to get runs under your belt. It's always good to spend time out in the middle, also just before the start of a Test series and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's a totally different format. So, yes, you have a couple of days before the start of the Test series, so it's important that, you utilize those days in the best way possible before the test match starts. Criticism, I think it's part and parcel of the game, but for me, it's a situation where I don't really listen to the critics that much. More so, I only listen to the people that definitely care about me and stuff like that. Sometimes when you're not doing well, you don't hear from a lot of people, and when you happen to have a good day out in the middle, your phone is filled with messages and all the best wishes and stuff like that. So for me, to be honest, it's just a matter of listening to the people who've been there for me, through the good and bad, more so than people who just feeling to say something because they have a mouth. So for me, just trying to stay positive as much as possible, trying to learn as much as possible, and just trying to do the best for West Indies.
The first test begins on Sunday, March 21st at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Meanwhile, as the campaign continues toward the elections for the leadership of Cricket West Indies, presidential candidate Anand Sanzi has sought to report incumbent Ricky Skerritt to the Cricket West Indies Ethics Committee. Jack Matthew explains.
Speaking on the Mason and Guest Radio program on Tuesday evening, the Guyanese board member revealed that he had launched a formal complaint written to CWI Corporate Secretary Alana Medford Singh. Sportsmax reports that Sanasi's grouse stems from allegations that Skerritt held a meeting with Guyana's Minister of Sports, Charles Ramson Jr., without convening the full board. He further contends that the decisions taken were deliberately made to give Skerritt an unfair advantage in his bid to secure re-election. Neither Sanasi nor his running mate, Calvin Hope of Barbados, had been notified of the meeting. If the complaint is brought before the committee and found to be valid by the group, chaired by Caribbean Court of Justice Judge Winston Anderson, Skerritt could be disqualified for seeking re-election. Skerritt and his running mate, Dr. Kishore Shallow, will be seeking a second 2-year term. The duo took charge in 2018 after defeating then-incumbent Dave Cameron and his Vice President Emmanuel Nanton. The election will take place on March 28th. Jack Matthew, ABS Sports.
That's the sports news. The probe around the globe is next. And now for the probe around the globe. A public school in Padang is at the center of a debate about religious freedom in Indonesia after administrators tried to force a Christian student to wear a headscarf. Her story went viral when her father posted it on social media. Teachers at the school deny forcing students, saying they simply encourage them to wear it. Details in this report.
In West Sumatra, in the city of Padang, this public school is at the center of a debate about religious freedom in Indonesia after administrators tried to force a Christian student to wear a headscarf. Her story went viral when her father posted it on social media. Teachers at the school deny forcing students, but say they simply encourage them to wear it.
This is how we protect our female students because we don't know what could happen on the streets.
The controversy has prompted the Indonesian government to ban public schools from forcing religious dress codes on students, regardless of their religion. Human rights observers say this is not an isolated incident.
There's a breach of religious freedom, freedom of expressions, privacy, the best interest of the child.
A report by Human Rights Watch says young women of all faiths here face harassment and threats from teachers who try to force them to wear what's called a jilbab, which covers the head, neck and chest. Indonesia's Religious Affairs Minister says there is no reason to infringe upon the freedom of another person in the name of religion.
Indonesia's national motto is unity in diversity, but human rights observers say they're concerned about rising religious intolerance and its presence in schools. The report says the impact on female students who experience trauma, anxiety and depression as a result of this intolerance must be taken seriously.
In the region of Ciamis in West Java, Wiwin says her teachers threatened to fail her if she didn't oblige and wear a headscarf. Her family is part of a religious minority called Sunda Wiwitan.
People of all religions should be able to go to school without being forced to wear a jilbab. It's a personal right.
Human Rights Watch says it's not only religious minorities experiencing this scrutiny, but Muslim girls too. Justicia says teachers and some students pressured her every day.
They said, you have to think of your parents. They have paid for your school and your life. Don't you feel sorry that they will suffer later in the afterlife?
She ended up moving to a private school. Religious leaders say the government should not ban schools from enforcing religious dress codes.
Students in elementary and middle school, they are not yet able to choose. They have to get used to something.
But human rights groups say the ban on enforcing religious attire in schools is just the beginning, and more must be done to protect Indonesia's diversity. Jessica Washington.
With summer looming and tourism-reliant countries anxiously waiting for the return of a steady influx of visitors amid the coronavirus pandemic, the European Union's executive body presented a proposal Wednesday that would allow the bloc's 450 million people, vaccinated or not, to travel freely across the 27-nation bloc by the summer. Details in this report.
Getting Europe moving again and keeping its borders open safely. That's how EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen presented the plus points of the so-called vaccine passport, or as it's officially known, the digital green certificate.
It shows or states whether the person has either been vaccinated or a recent negative test, or has recovered from COVID and thus antibodies. Secondly, the certificate will make sure that the results, or what it shows, the data, and there's the minimum set of data, are mutually recognized in every member state.
The pass itself would be distributed by national authorities or health services. It would contain basic personal information in English and in the language of the country of issue, as well as a QR code. The document should be free of charge, with the EU providing support for member states to develop and implement that technology. The digital pass has been applauded by some as a way to get tourism back up and running this summer. Yet it's also raised ethical and logistical questions regarding data protection and equal access to travel. Yet the EU was swift to remind Europeans that their fundamental right to move freely between member states was not under threat. The digital pass would simply facilitate travel, eradicating the need for quarantine protocols or further tests. For now, only the AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer-BioNTech and Johnson & Johnson vaccines would be authorized for the certificate. Indeed, von der Leyen underlined that with a third wave of COVID-19 in our sights, widespread vaccination is the very best strategy on the road to return.
Stay with us now for a recap of the headlines. Recapping the headlines, Center for Disease Control issues Level 1 Travel Health Advisory for Grenada. Our guest tonight was Tourism Minister Dr. Clarice Modest-Kerwin. Health officials report a decrease in dengue cases. Grenadian PhD candidate Kellam Bob named as a 2021 Edward Boucher Scholar, and the Riser Credit Union embarks on security upgrade to protect members against cyber crimes. In around the globe, Indonesian government to ban public schools from forcing religious dress codes on students, and the European Union proposes COVID-19 green certificates to allow travel across the bloc. In sports, Spice Boys beginning a new journey to find an identity and toward development, and West Indies President's 11 dominate practice match against Sri Lanka. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Beverly Telesford. That's the news. Good night.